G'day guys, Scott Jackson from Wealthlab here. Just wanted to follow up on a free bonus pack that we're offering clients who are new to the business or have recently signed up. I've put this together for you, just an example on a couple of areas that we'd like to help clients with. So we're just going to crack straight into it. When it comes to a tax return and then trying to figure out what they're doing and where they're at, one of the most valuable things you can possibly do is to begin by putting together folders within your Google Drive or your Gmail or your Dropbox or your OneDrive. It doesn't matter where it is, just use a personal, you just need to have a personal online cloud storage space. And then what I want you to do is I want you to label these items in the years. So for example, going back to say 2015, 2016, 2017, 2018, blah, 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 blah. I just really need you to put together that in a simple Google file. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you an example of what a file naming structure would look like. So for example, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you my screen right here. And I'm just going to show you an option around what that would look like. So I've just gone into Perplexity and I've said, give me an example of where to save the prior 3 years of tax returns. So it's just basically just saying the tax returns first and last name. So this would be, for example, tax returns, Scott Jackson, then a 24, 23, 22 tax years, or 25, 26, 27. You can do more forwards or backwards depending on how you want to do it. And then within that folder, it's structuring something like this. You'd have income, deductions, investments, and then supporting documents. I think this is a little bit too complicated. So what I would have is I would just have this as main return, your income, deductions, and if there's any investments, I'd probably throw that together. And the reason why I've got this for forward looking as well as backward looking is that, say for example, it's 2024 at the moment, we've got 25 coming up. It would make sense to have a 25 folder so that I can start dropping files in here already so that I can then have that ready for my accountant in the following 12 months. So just as stuff comes up, I'll just drop it into that folder, or I'll just forward it to an email address and then put it into this folder. And then when that's ready to go, then I'll just be able to push it forward. It then goes a further naming convention of year, document type, description, date. So what this would look like is, for example, let's say I had my health insurance. I would say 2025 or 2024, health insurance annual return, Bupa, AIA, whoever it is, and then the date that I'm putting it in. An example would look something like this. In the main file, you'd have the year, the type of document, the final return, and then the date in that format. So the 30th of the 6th, 2024. So this is what I suggest you organize. It's a pretty simple system just to set up. It takes you about 10 minutes. And then once you've got it there, you've got it for life. And I really find this works really well for my personal stuff. So that's just a bit of an example on the file naming structure that I have when it comes to using a document. Now you could either use Google Drive or Dropbox or OneDrive, doesn't really matter, just as long as you've got this file naming structure. So I'm just going to start there. So the next topic is I'm going to talk to you about how we can use AI to look at your prior tax returns. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to put together a pretty clear training plan on how to actually use a language model. So let's say, for example, you've got the correct file naming structure, you've put the documents all ready to go, and we've got at least 3 or 4 years of prior tax returns ready to go. So I'm just going to do a quick screen share of myself again. And what we're going to do is we're going to jump into the bot. So I've got Perplexity open, but there's a lot of other ones you can get running as well. So for example, what we can say is that we click the little plus button, open the PDFs, and then we're going to be able to then upload items as required. What we're doing here is we've gone for you're a tax expert, reviewed the prior last 3 years. So for example, if you were an engineer, if you're an architect, or if you're an operator on a mining site, your industries are going to have quite different naming, quite different conventions around what one industry is typically claiming versus another. And what I'm doing here is I'm just asking it to highlight the types of industries in. It's going to ask you for the industry you're actually working in, your rough annual income, any changes to employment in that time. The more data, the better. So if you can go and get 4 or 5 years of tax returns, that's even better to put that in. Give it just a bit of an understanding of what your existing costs will look like, and that's going to give you some information. Hopefully that information will be enough for you to understand of, oh, look, this might be a claim that I made 2 years prior, but I forgot to get it in this year. Or if it's not enough, let's go back and ask it some more information. So let's say, for example, compare the claimed amount versus industry standards. So for example, if you're a mining operator, making sure the boots and the clothing is done. If you're an accountant or an engineer or an architect, making sure that the work from home claims are sufficiently claimed upon. And we just also some general, if there's any recent rulings relating to my industry. So for example, if you're marine biology, if you're in the not-for-profit space or the education space, there's certainly some other areas that you can add that maximize your returns from that. I'm not going to drop a direct annual tax return in here because it's going to have a privacy issue. But what I've done is I've just grabbed some examples. So this is going to be enough if you can give it at least 3 years, but maybe 4 or 5 years of your returns. Using the paid for version is going to give you a great opportunity to really ask the bot, interrogate the data, and get some good responses. So guys, I've just put this together around a little trading tool that you can use to maximize your tax returns. And this is the quickest way to get a little extra income for yourselves. Hopefully it adds some value. If you've got any questions, please get in touch, and welcome to the Wealth Lab family. Thanks so much.